He told me he was at a work event the whole weekend. A friend texted me a picture of him having dinner at a resort with a woman I didn't know. I didn't confront him. I just rescheduled our dinner and sent the receipt for his hotel room to his boss with a note that said, "Enjoy your business trip." I'm a 42-year-old woman from Chicago. Married to Mark, 45, for 15 years. We have 2 kids. One just started high school, the other still in middle school. I thought we were doing okay. Not amazing, not movie perfect, but okay. We have a house in Lincoln Park, both work full-time jobs. He's in finance. I'm in HR. Mark's always been the busy one. Lots of calls, weekend work events, late-night emails. He's always dressed sharp. Clean cut. Never gave me a real reason not to trust him. That's what makes this hurt so much more. So 2 months ago, he tells me he has to go to Milwaukee for a company thing. Some kind of weekend finance workshop. Said it's a networking thing, part of some leadership initiative. I nodded. I didn't question it. Why would I? Friday morning, he packed a small bag, kissed me on the cheek, told me he'd call later. I dropped the kids off at school and went to work like normal. My Friday was uneventful. Got home. Made myself some dinner. Watched reruns of Grey's Anatomy with a glass of wine. Nothing special. Saturday rolls around. Around 6:30 p.m., I'm in my pajamas, hair in a bun, scrolling through Instagram in bed when my friend Sarah sends me a text. It's a photo. A grainy one, taken from a distance. It's clearly Mark. He's at some restaurant I don't recognize. Sitting across from a woman with long dark hair, laughing. He's holding a wine glass. The table looks romantic. Candlelight. Intimate. Sarah's message, "Isn't this your husband?" Taken this evening at the Grandview restaurant in Lake Geneva. I thought he said he was in Milwaukee? I just stared at my phone for a long time. My stomach dropped. My ears started ringing. That buzzing sound when you suddenly realize something might be horribly wrong. He wasn't in Milwaukee. He was in Lake Geneva. That's about 80 miles from Milwaukee. Why lie? And who was the woman? I didn't respond to Sarah right away. I didn't even know what to say. I just typed thanks and left it at that. I didn't confront him. I didn't call him. I just sat there, holding my phone, shaking. It was like I was trying to figure out how not to believe my own eyes. I didn't sleep well that night. On Sunday morning, I woke up early and pulled up our shared bank account on my laptop. I'm usually the one who checks the bills, so he never bothered to hide anything. There it was. A charge for a 2-night stay at the Geneva Inn. Same town where Sarah took the photo. Same date. He lied. Flat out. I called the hotel. Told them I was confirming the booking details on behalf of my husband. The woman on the phone gave me everything without hesitation. Friday through Sunday. Lakeside view. Room service billed to the room on both nights. Dinner for 2. I took screenshots of everything. I didn't cry. Not yet. I just sat there numb. Mark came home that evening around 6:45 p.m. He looked tired, a little sunburned. He smiled like nothing had happened and kissed my forehead. God, I'm exhausted. That conference was intense. Let's have dinner next weekend. Just us. I nodded and said, that sounds nice. He showered, played with the kids, and later that night he passed out on the couch watching ESPN. I sat beside him, just watching him breathe. My husband. The man I built my life with. Who just spent the weekend lying to me without hesitation. I spent the next few days pretending. I made dinner. Picked up the kids. Did laundry. Went to work. Normal things. On Wednesday, I dug deeper. I checked his LinkedIn connections and found a new woman who had joined his company about 2 months ago. Her name is Rachel. Dark hair. Pretty. Her profile picture showed her wearing a dress that looked awfully similar to the one in the photo Sarah sent me. I looked through her posts. She had tagged a few people from Mark's company. Not him, of course. He doesn't use social media. But it was enough to make me certain. I didn't feel jealous. I felt disgusted. Friday night came. I made us dinner reservations at RPM Italian. He thought it was a date night. I wore a dress I hadn't worn in a long time. I did my hair. Played the part. At the restaurant, over appetizers, I casually brought up Lake Geneva. I heard it's beautiful this time of year, I said, sipping my wine. He nodded quickly. Yeah, I guess so. Never been. I stared at him. Just stared. The audacity. The way he didn't flinch. I wanted to throw my wine in his face, but instead I smiled. Oh, that's weird, I said, and pulled out my phone. Because Sarah saw you there. Saturday night. She even took this photo. I turned the screen toward him. His face went pale. Completely drained of color. I didn't wait for excuses. I stood up, grabbed my purse, and walked out. He didn't follow right away. He stayed seated, probably shocked, maybe trying to come up with some story. Later that night, when I got home, I didn't speak to him. He got in an Uber after dinner and went straight to the basement. I didn't say anything to him for 2 days. On Sunday evening, I printed the hotel receipt and the photo. I attached them to an anonymous email and sent it to his boss. His actual boss. With a note that simply said, "Enjoy your business trip." And I sent it from a throwaway account. I haven't told Mark about that part yet. I'm just waiting. Waiting for the fallout. Waiting for the truth. Waiting to see what kind of man he really is when his perfect little glass world starts to crack. I still haven't cried. Not once. I don't know what's next, but I'm not going to be the fool in this story. Not anymore. If you didn't read my first post, here's the short version. My husband Mark told me he was at a work event in Milwaukee for the weekend. My friend sent me a photo of him having dinner in Lake Geneva, with a woman I'd never seen before. I didn't confront him right away. I played it cool, then sent the hotel receipt and the photo to his boss with the note, "Enjoy your business trip." That was a week ago. I wasn't sure what to expect. I thought maybe there'd be silence. Or a storm. It was both. Mark came home from work early. Like very early. Around 11 a.m. He looked shaken. Like someone had punched him in the gut. He sat down on the couch like his knees couldn't hold him anymore. I was standing by the kitchen island when he said it. Something happened at work. I didn't say anything. I didn't move. They're investigating something. Someone sent an email to my boss. Oh? I said, pretending to be surprised. He looked at me then, eyes wide. Do you know anything about that? I shrugged. Why would I? He stared at me for a long time. I could see it in his face, he knew. He knew it was me. He rubbed his hands over his face and muttered, "This could ruin me." I wanted to laugh. Ruin you? You did that yourself. Instead, I said, "You lied to me, Mark." Not just once. Over and over. You took her to a resort while telling me you were working. He didn't deny it. Just kept saying how bad this was for him. How embarrassed he was. Not once did he say he was sorry. Not once did he ask how I felt. Mark slept in the guest room. The house was silent, but it felt like it was screaming. I was going through our finances. Quietly. Carefully. I noticed something I hadn't before. 2 transfers. Small amounts. A couple hundred here and there. Going into a PayPal account I didn't recognize. I followed the paper trail and found that he'd been sending money to someone named R. Jensen. Rachel Jensen. That's her. The woman from the photo. I couldn't believe it. He wasn't just cheating. He was paying for things. Dinners. Hotel. Possibly more. I screenshotted everything. I saved it all to a folder called Truth. I called his work line. I got his voicemail. I tried his cell. It rang, but he didn't pick up. Then I got a call from an unknown number. It was Rachel. She didn't introduce herself right away. Just said, "We need to talk." I think we'd both been lied to. My heart stopped. She said she didn't know Mark was married. Said he told her he was separated. That the divorce was almost finalized. That I was just still living in the house until things settled. She sounded shocked. Genuinely. I didn't know whether to believe her. But then she sent me screenshots of their texts. Mark had lied to her too. He told her I was the crazy one. That I was controlling and manipulative. That I refused to let him go. He told her he wanted to start a new life with her once everything was cleaned up. I almost threw my phone across the room. I thanked her. Told her I appreciated her honesty. I didn't know what else to say. What can you say? Thursday Mark came home late. Reeking of whiskey. He didn't even look at me. Just went straight to the basement again. But before he went downstairs, he muttered, "You ruined my life." That was it. No apology. No remorse. He said I ruined his life. Let that sink in. Friday I got a call from the school. My youngest had gotten into a fight. Apparently, another kid said something about their dad having a girlfriend. I wanted to scream. I held it together. Went down to the school. Picked her up. She cried in the car. I told her everything would be okay, even though I didn't believe it myself. That night, after the kids were asleep, I went into the basement. Mark was passed out on the futon with a bottle of Jameson next to him. TV still on. I unplugged the router. Took his laptop. Upstairs, I emailed myself everything I could find. Chat logs. Calendars. A list of nights he said he was working late. They matched dates with Rachel. I'm building a timeline. Saturday Rachel texted me again. She said Mark came to her apartment. He begged her not to say anything else. Tried to tell her I was lying. Tried to twist the story again. She kicked him out. But here's the twist, Rachel didn't just meet Mark through work. She was hired through a referral. His referral. She's worried now she might lose her job too. She wants to go to HR and explain everything. I told her she should. Mark is quiet now. He walks around like a shadow. He hasn't brought up the email to his boss again. I think he's waiting. Watching. Maybe hoping it'll blow over. But it won't. I've started talking to a lawyer. I haven't told him yet. The story isn't over. It's getting uglier. And it's about to crack wide open. If you've been following my story, you know this. My husband Mark told me he was at a work conference in Milwaukee, but he was actually at a resort in Lake Geneva with a woman named Rachel. I didn't confront him right away. Instead, I gathered proof, and then sent it anonymously to his boss with a note, "Enjoy your business trip." But now it's gone far beyond what I expected. Here's what happened this week. Mark didn't go into the office. That wasn't unusual lately, he'd been working from home more and more since the email. He looked nervous. Kept checking his phone like he was waiting for something. And then he got a call. He went outside to take it. Stayed out there for almost 45 minutes. When he came back in, his face looked different. Less angry. More scared. "Are you okay?" I asked. He stared at me. Eyes blank. "They've suspended me." With pay for now. There's going to be a formal review. I didn't say anything. He stood there like he was expecting sympathy. Or maybe support. I gave him nothing. Then he said this, they're looking into more than just Rachel. Someone tipped them off about other things. I froze. What other things? I asked. He paused. Swallowed hard. I don't know. Expenses maybe. I don't know what someone told them. He was lying. Again. I couldn't sleep. Something about what he said bugged me. Other things. So I went through old emails. Credit card statements. Business expenses. Mark's expense reports are usually boring, but I noticed something odd, multiple charges at the same boutique hotel in Schaumburg, only 40 minutes from us. The dates were scattered over the last year. Always weekdays. Always during times he said he had client dinners or late meetings. I searched the hotel name and found out they have a spa and day pass packages. I checked our credit card. He had bought a $500 necklace from a small jewelry store right next to that hotel. A week before Valentine's Day. I didn't get jewelry that Valentine's Day. I got flowers and a grocery store card. So now it wasn't just Rachel. There was someone else. Or multiple people. I reached back out to Rachel. I asked her a hard question. Did Mark ever mention another woman? Another name? She waited a while, then replied. Yes. He once mentioned someone named Allie. I thought she was an ex. He said she was crazy and wouldn't let him go. I didn't know an Allie. But the name stuck with me. I looked at his LinkedIn again. Searched through his connections. Found an Allison with the same last name as one of his old clients. She was in marketing. Pretty. Looked younger than Rachel. Maybe late 20s. Her profile banner was a picture of Schaumburg Town Square. I wanted to throw up. I did something I didn't think I'd do. I made a burner Instagram account. Messaged Allison. Hi. You don't know me, but I think we might have someone in common. Mark R. From, company name. Can we talk? She read it within minutes. And responded almost immediately. I thought he was divorced. My heart dropped. I asked if she could tell me more. She did. They'd been seeing each other for almost a year. Nothing official. Just occasional dinners, hotel nights, deep talks. He told her his wife had taken the kids and moved in with her sister. He told her he was just trying to hold on to the house until the settlement was done. He said he wasn't ready for anything serious yet. But that she made him feel alive again. Same script. Different woman. I asked her when she saw him last. She said 3 weeks ago. That was after he took Rachel to Lake Geneva. Rachel found out. Allie posted something vague on Instagram. Something about cheaters always getting caught. Rachel saw it. Recognized the location tag. Put 2 and 2 together. She called me. Angry. Confused. I told her the truth. That there had been more than just her. She cried. I didn't. She asked me, how did you not know? I didn't answer. I didn't have the energy. Later that night, Mark and I had the ugliest fight we've ever had. He accused me of ruining his life. I said, you did that yourself. He yelled. I didn't. I just told him one thing. There's more coming. I'm not done. I went back to the lawyer. I'm preparing for what comes next. But before I left, I gave them a copy of everything. The emails. The receipts. The screenshots. They told me something I didn't expect. Depending on how his company handles this, I might be able to make a claim. Not just for the divorce. But financially, because he was using marital funds to support his affairs. Gifts. Trips. Even hotel rooms. And get this, Rachel called again. She said someone else from the company reached out to her. Another woman. Another name. I don't know how many there are. But one thing's clear now, this wasn't an affair. This was a pattern. And Mark's mask isn't just slipping. It's gone. It started at a company event. Mark's company was hosting a formal dinner, something for clients and partners. He was still suspended, but he decided to show up anyway. Said he wanted to save face. I wasn't going to go at first. But something in me snapped. I told him, you show up pretending to be a loyal employee and faithful husband, I'll be right there beside you. He didn't say no. I wore a sleek black dress. Not flashy. Just strong. I did my makeup sharp. I was ready. The venue was a downtown Chicago rooftop ballroom. Lights. Champagne. Waiters and gloves. We got there and people were already whispering. I knew it. I could feel it. Some already knew. Some suspected. Mark walked in like nothing was wrong. He shook hands. Laughed. And then, halfway through the night, Rachel showed up. She wasn't invited. She was done playing polite. She walked up to our table, me, Mark, a few coworkers, and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, funny seeing you here, Mark. Didn't you say your wife was too unstable to come to these things? Everyone froze. Mark's face went white. I just sat there, watching him squirm. Rachel didn't stop. She pulled out her phone. Maybe your boss would like to know you were planning a vacation with me. While on sick leave. Gasps. A few people stood up. One of the partners walked over. Rachel looked at me. I'm sorry I believed him. I'm sorry you had to find out like this. Then she left. Mark turned to me. You planned this, he hissed. I stood up. And said, loud and clear, I didn't plan anything. You did this all on your own. And I walked out. He didn't come home that night. I didn't wait up. I didn't care. By morning, his work phone was shut off. I got a call from HR. They told me the company was terminating his position effective immediately. Not just for the affairs, but because of misused funds. They'd found more, hotel bills, unauthorized charges. It was enough to burn every bridge he had there. I told them I understood. Then I got a text from Allison. She said she'd seen the blow-up online. Someone had posted about the event. Tagged the company. It was spreading. She apologized again. She sounded shaken. I thought I was special to him, she wrote. I didn't even reply. Mark came back the next evening. He looked like a shell. Pale. Quiet. Smaller somehow. He sat down at the dining table and said, everything's gone. I didn't speak. I've lost my job. My reputation. My savings. Rachel won't speak to me. Allison blocked me. Still, I didn't say anything. He looked at me with red, tired eyes. Do you hate me? I finally spoke. I don't hate you. But I don't recognize you. He broke down crying. Right there. The man I had once trusted more than anything was sobbing into his hands like a child. He kept saying, I don't know why I did it. But he did. He knew. He just didn't want to admit it until there was nothing left to protect. My mom called me after everything blew up. She told me she'd always had a feeling Mark wasn't solid. Sarah, my friend who sent me that first photo, brought over dinner and wine. She hugged me so hard I thought I'd collapse. I'm so proud of how you handled it, she said. But I didn't feel strong. I felt hollow. I gave Mark 30 days to move out. We agreed to share custody of the kids for now. I told them only what they needed to know. Dad made some mistakes. We're going to be living in different houses soon. My oldest hasn't said much. But I see it in her eyes, disappointment. My youngest cried for hours. This part hurt the most. Because they didn't deserve this. So here I am now. Sitting on the couch in silence, drinking tea, writing this. The house feels different. Lighter. Empty, yes. But mine again. I think back on the woman I was before this started, the one who believed in the life she'd built. I miss her. But I'm also kind of proud of the one I've become. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I didn't chase. I watched the truth come out, and I let it burn everything it needed to. I don't know if I'll ever trust again. But I do know I'm not broken. And I won't be anyone's secret, second choice, or fallback ever again. He once told me I was too serious. Maybe that's why I saw through all the lies. Because when you stop laughing at the nonsense, the truth shows up real fast. Thanks for reading. I'm going to be okay.